What happens when a billionaire tech genius decides to walk in the shoes of the invisible? Mark Zuckerberg, a name synonymous with social networks and innovation, took on a radical experiment. Disguised as a homeless man, he sought to expose the realities of life on the streets, and what he uncovered will challenge your perspective on humanity. It was an overcast morning in San Francisco, the city bustling with its usual tech-fueled energy. Hidden in plain sight, a man sat hunched on a piece of cardboard, his clothes torn and his hair disheveled. Passers-by saw him as just another vagrant amidst the city's growing homeless crisis. But this man wasn't ordinary. Beneath the grime and exhaustion was Mark Zuckerberg, one of the richest and most powerful people in the world. The idea struck Zuckerberg during a late-night brainstorming session with his team at Meta. He had been reading articles highlighting the homelessness epidemic, a crisis that often went unnoticed by those in power. How can we fix what we can't understand? Mark questioned his team. He decided the only way to truly grasp the depth of the issue was to immerse himself in it. He traded his usual hoodie and jeans for thrift store rags and underwent an astonishing transformation with the help of a makeup artist. His hair was streaked with grease, his face lined with artificial grime, and his usually sharp eyes were dulled by tinted lenses. Equipped with a discreet camera and microphone, Mark set out into the city, leaving behind his privilege and title. The experiment wasn't about observation, it was about immersion. Mark's journey began outside a popular cafe in Union Square. Sitting cross-legged with a sign reading, "Just hungry," he quickly learned the harsh reality of invisibility. Most people passed without a glance. Those who noticed avoided him as if eye contact was a crime. Mark scribbled mental notes. Avoidance isn't just physical, it's emotional. Hunger gnawed at him by mid-morning. Clutching a few coins, he approached a street vendor selling hot dogs. The vendor, Alex, a middle-aged man with a thick accent, hesitated before handing over the food. "Can you pay for that?" Alex asked skeptically. Mark nodded, his voice hoarse. "Yeah, exact change." The hot dog felt like a luxury, but the vendor's doubtful look lingered in Mark's mind. He wondered how often people like Alex saw customers as burdens rather than humans. By midday, Mark wandered into a quiet park and found shelter beneath a tree. Nearby, a woman named Rosa, mid-40s, carrying a patched backpack, was sketching in a worn notebook. Curiosity got the better of him, and he struck up a conversation. Rosa revealed she had been a graphic designer before losing her job and eventually her home. "One mistake snowballed into this," she said, gesturing to her surroundings. Mark listened intently, her words echoing in his mind. Rosa's resilience struck a chord. Despite her circumstances, she clung to her dreams of rebuilding her life. Later that evening, Mark encountered a group of teenagers vandalizing a public bench. One of them, Kevin, a high school dropout, noticed Mark and began mocking him. "Hey, old man, how's street life?" Kevin jeered. Mark stayed calm, choosing to ask instead, "Why are you out here?" Caught off guard, Kevin admitted he had no place to go after being kicked out of his home. The conversation ended abruptly when a security guard arrived, scattering the group and warning Mark to move along. The interaction left Mark shaken. It wasn't just about homelessness, it was about the cycle of abandonment and neglect. As night fell, Mark sat near a corner store, exhausted and reflective. A man named Isaiah, mid-50s, dressed in a worn denim jacket, approached, carrying a bag of groceries. "You look like you could use this," Isaiah said, handing Mark a sandwich and a bottle of water. Mark was stunned. "Why are you helping me?" Isaiah shrugged. "Been there myself. Kindness kept me going, so I pay it forward." That simple act of generosity reignited Mark's hope. It was a reminder of the good that still existed, even in the darkest corners. On the final day, Mark witnessed a confrontation between a homeless teenager, Lily, 17, with unkempt hair, and a grocery clerk. Lily had tried to steal a loaf of bread but was caught. Mark intervened, offering to pay for the bread. "Let her go," he said firmly. The clerk hesitated but eventually relented. Lily thanked Mark tearfully, sharing her story of running away from an abusive household. That moment solidified Mark's resolve. Homelessness wasn't just about resources, it was about humanity's failure to see and support one another. Returning to his team, Mark reviewed hours of footage. Each interaction, Rosa's resilience, Kevin's anger, Isaiah's kindness, and Lily's desperation, was a piece of a larger puzzle. At a press conference weeks later, Mark unveiled the Visibility Initiative, a project aimed at addressing homelessness through tech-driven solutions and community outreach. "This isn't about charity, it's about change," he declared. The initiative included affordable housing programs, mental health resources, and job training platforms. Mark's journey wasn't just an experiment, it was a call to action. The response was overwhelming. Critics and supporters alike couldn't ignore the raw footage and heartfelt stories. For Mark, it wasn't about applause, it was about starting a conversation. Mark Zuckerberg's journey as an invisible man revealed more than just the struggles of homelessness. It highlighted society's capacity for both cruelty and compassion. His experiment wasn't just a lesson in empathy, it was a blueprint for change.